once again. Today's theme of this presentation is how to write good research articles, good research paper. So I'm going to share my experience because still I'm learning, that is how to write the good research paper, because it's not a process of 1 month or 6 months. It is a continuous learning process, and as you write more and more papers, you will have refinement in writing. So I am also a learner. So as a researcher, and if you want to publish your article in good journal, so you should have all these 2-3 important things. That one is you must have your account on CITED. I think you should note down the things which I'm telling you in your copy. So this CITED registration is very, very essential if you want to submit. Because if you submit to the different journals, then they are having very long registration form. And I'm having a YouTube channel also. So there I have uploaded a few videos, informative videos related to this writing research articles. So let you know, in a few of the slides it is mentioned that which topic is covered. So that information you'll get it from this YouTube video, because it is not possible to cover all the things. So few things I have kept it in video form. So long back I have uploaded this video and it will be useful for you. Now this presentation which I'm going to tell you all these important things, it would be useful for not only writing research papers, but also useful for writing good research, your project report, you can say, rather project report. It is very, very useful for writing the project report, and with the help of this knowledge which I am telling you, you can ease the writing procedure, you can ease the arrangement of your project report, alignment of your project report, you can make it error free, grammatically free, with the help of few tools which are generally not used. We try to do it all the things manually, which is very time taking. That is why we should not hesitate to use some tools. Nowadays most of the tools are open source also and freely available. So I'm going to tell you such tools also which are useful for writing project report and research articles. So this is all about the outline of my presentation. Today I am going to cover all these important headings which will cover the all aspects of one good research article. And whatever I am telling you, this is based on my personal experience only. So sometimes you may disagree with me, but anyhow this is my personal experience, because at many slides if you go through, you will find that the few things are ranked, but that is based on my personal experience. You will not get any proof of that. Okay. So first of all, we'll come to the point that yes. Anything?
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. Your voice is lagging.
Voice is lagging. Now is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will come a little bit closer. Now yes, tell me how is the sound level? Is it enough?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the very basic question, that what is research? Can anybody tell me what is research? Because in research already word is there, that is search. What is the meaning of research?
Sir, research is the process of trying to understand the aspects of life which are already present in the world.
Yes, absolutely correct. Okay, so research means searching and searching continuously. If you search, and because of this continuous searching, you will definitely reach to the target. Like this picture reveals all the things. We can see this is a, suppose say, sand, and in sand our target is to find out the gold granules. This sand has sand granules, iron granules, stone granules, and XYZ granules. So if you want to achieve your target, you have to filter it out. And this filtering operation will be continuous. It will not be done in one attempt or two attempts. You have to continuously filter out, and then because of the filtering, you can see at the lower bottom side, you are having the more area. As you filter out more and more, you will come to the narrow and narrow and narrow. So this is the point. You can see this is just a representation. Whenever you will reach here, and whenever you filter many times, then you will come to the gold granules. Now, of course, the percentage of gold granules as compared to other is very less. So that is why a lot of filtering is required. Lot of refinement is required in the contents. So research process is nothing but the set some target. It is already present there. It is already present in universe, whatever you are thinking, because God only can create, we cannot create. We can only search. So we have to search, and then only you will achieve the target. Now this process of searching and searching is very time taking process. So related to this, if you want to have career in research, or you want to become a good researcher, then you should possess these important qualities. What are the important qualities? That you should have analytical mind. You should be in a position to analyze this. That means this is a sand. Now you should have some analytical mind, something, some clue, so that you can find the gold granules, because you are having the idea that gold granules may be present in this sand. So that vision you must have. So second important thing is stay calm, means you must have patience, because this is not a job of one day or 1 month. If you are doing a research, you have to spend years and years. So you should have lot of patience for this. Of course, intelligence is very important. Hard work also, it is not mentioned there, but hard work and intelligence, both are the important qualities. Whether we should go this way or this way. So for taking that, you should be quick thinker. And of course, the last one is commitment is very important. Many people, they fail because of this commitment only. They do for few days, few weeks, and they leave the topic because they don't have commitment. And that is why these are the 6 important qualities. If you are having, then definitely you must proceed. Now, as per the scientists, these popular scientists, they have quoted few important definitions of the research. What is research? So we'll pick up the important words that what is research. So it is a careful and systematic efforts of gaining new knowledge. This is a very interesting definition of the research. What we have to do? We have to do it carefully, and systematic efforts are important. And if you do it this systematically, definitely you will have success in gaining the new phenomena, new knowledge. Then Clifford Woody, he has quoted that it is redefining the problems, because at the beginning we define something, but at the middle we have to change it, because whatever hypothesis, whatever question, whatever target we set, at the middle somewhere you will find that we are going in a wrong direction. So we have to many times redefine that problem. Formulating hypothesis is nothing but the question on which you want to work. Collect the data, organize it properly, evaluate the data. Now this data may be your sample data collected out of the survey, or this may be experimental data. It is not only the experimentation, you have to evaluate the experimental data also. And then you should have some deduction out of that and reaching to the final conclusion. Means whatever target you set, whatever question you set, whether it is achieved or not. So overall, if you see both the definition, it is all about the systematic study to gain new knowledge. That's all. Now, before coming to a topic of writing good research article, you must have good problem statement. Then only you can write good research paper. Otherwise, there is no point to write good research article, because from our side we are saying it's a good article, but the editor point of view or the other researcher point of view, if it is of no use, because this research is already being done by so many people, it is already published, it is already saturated, or that question may not be suitable for implementation. So that is why very important thing is hypothesis, good hypothesis. Hypothesis is nothing but the question which you phrase for your work. Okay, like some examples are given here. Like hypothesis is a tentative statement about the relationship between the variables. Okay, for example, rate of plant growth does not depend on the duration of the light. This is the hypothesis. This is the problem statement. This is the question which you set for your research work. Now, in this case, what is the variable, dependent variable and independent variable that you have to identify? So there are two important things. One is plant growth. Another is duration of the light. That means you want to study plant growth and you want to analyze the effect of light on the plant growth. So this is the question, and then you have to start working on that. So this is very important. Your hypothesis should be good so that you will have more acceptance for your research article, more acceptance for your research work. Another, in terms of electrical domain, electronics domain, if we talk, conversion efficiency of energy generator depends on the material. Okay, so material is very important. Conversion efficiency is important. So like that, amplifier gain does not depend on operating voltage, and like that. These are the just examples. So when you set good hypothesis, good question, this is nothing but the hypothesis, a solid question which you are asking to yourself only. Then, once you come up with this some topic, some question, some hypothesis, you have to do background research. This is many times also called literature survey, because you must know that what is the current state of your research work or the question which you set, whether it is very old, too old, whether it is current one, that information you will get it, and what kind of activities are going on, what kind of work has been completed by other researcher, that information you will get it out of this activity. If we don't go for this background research, then what will happen? You will be wasting your time in doing the work or doing the task which already people have done 10 years back. So that should not happen. Now, once you are through with this background research, then next question is whether it is really testable or not, whether it is really designable or not. Means whether we can design a circuitry system, sensor, whether it is feasible or not. So feasibility, you have to check it. And once you are through with this, the next point is to decide the dependent and independent variables, so that you can analyze your results, analyze the output of your work in terms of dependent and independent variables. Now, as far as this problem statement is concerned, this hypothesis is concerned, what is the dependent and independent variables? Can you please tell me that what this plant growth is a dependent variable or independent variable? Yes, audience, anybody from the audience, can you please tell me there are two variables? One is plant growth, another is duration of the light.
Dependent variable is plant growth. And duration of light is independent growth.
Yes, absolutely correct. Every time you have to find out this dependent and independent variables. Light is not depending on the plant growth and all, whereas the vice versa is true. So it is a dependent variable and it is an independent variable. So you have to set such kind of n number of dependent and independent variables, because in every research you have to do analysis, and in analysis, unless and until these variables are not decided, your study, your research work would be theoretical kind of thing, which is generally done by the art commerce people. Even they have to also take few dependent and independent variables. Okay, so we don't want such kind of thing. We want the practical implementation, and that is why, as a technocrat, as an engineer, we must talk about some mathematical things. We must talk about the facts, and it is always better to use such variables. Now, first of all, while framing the good hypothesis means I am telling the title of your project, title of your research work, or the question, you can say. Before coming to this good hypothesis, you should ask these 4 questions to yourself, and then only you should proceed. Now, first question, is your hypothesis based on current or future problem? And that information you'll get it from the literature review, literature survey. So anyhow, I'll take few examples of literature survey, how to do it later on. Second point is about, is your hypothesis based on your research topic? Because everyone is having some liking about the topic, and then you have to check it whether the hypothesis which you set, whether it is based on your research topic or not. You have to relate with your research topic. Then can your hypothesis be tested? So this just now we have seen. We have to design the experiments, and we have to propose the plan for testing, how we are going to test that. Designing is one part of your research. Testing is another part of your research. So how testing can be done? Most of the time what we do, we develop the system, but we face difficulty in the testing. So before starting your research work, you should have at least a rough plan for testing. Then the last question is, does your hypothesis include dependent and independent variables? So these 4 questions you have to ask yourself, and once all these questions have found satisfactory answer, then you should proceed for the topic or the hypothesis which you have proposed for your upcoming research. Now, what are the objectives of the research? Why should we go for the research? Why should we go for publishing the research paper? So, the most important objective is to gain the familiarity with the phenomena. Few new things which you want to learn, that you will get it out of this activity. You will get new insight about the phenomena which you have proposed, or which exist, and you want to evaluate it. Second important thing is, you can portray accurately the characteristics of the unknown system, because it should be unknown, because you are working on some new research topic. So definitely it will be new for you, new for the research fraternity. We cannot work on the topic which already worked 10 years before, 20 years before. Many people have done work on that. No, not like that. We have to work on the new topic which is not well known to everyone, and then you will be considered as one of the good contributor in that particular unknown domain, unknown phenomena. So writing research article or doing some research means ultimately you are portraying these few important characteristics that of the unknown phenomena. Then you can decide the frequency of some parameter which occurs or associated. That is one of the objective, and to test the hypothesis of a such causal relationship between the variables, because you have taken some variable x, y, z. So at the end of this research work, you will have some relation that this a is equal to x plus y plus z square, something like that. So you will establish some relation which is already not done by anybody, because this is a completely new topic we are dealing. So you will have some relation. So that relation you have to establish, and that should be your one of the smart objective of the research. Now, as far as this research flow is concerned, what we have to do? First of all, we have to define the research problem. Then you have to check whether it is the current problem or not. For that, you have to go for the review, literature survey, literature review. Then from this literature review, you will get the concept and the theory which already established by the other researchers. And if you get some information that this problem statement is not feasible, so what you can do, you can refine, you can change your problem statement. So these two important blocks are very, very helpful to decide whether your work is based on state-of-the-art technology or not, or the current problem or not. Now, once you are through, then you formulate accurate hypothesis for your research work. Then design experiment, design system, design circuitry, then conduct experiment on that, collect the results. For art, commerce, MBA people, they will collect the data from this survey, public survey. But as an electronics engineer or any engineer, we have to do experiments. Chemists, biologists, they have to do the experiment. So they collect the data through experimentation. Then after that, you have to analyze the data. That is very, very important. Because if you apply some input to your circuitry, it will produce output. But you have to analyze that whether it is correct or not. And at the same time, you will be testing your hypothesis also. Whatever question you said, whether it is meeting all the requirements or not. Then the last job is to interpret and report writing of your research finding. This is the last stage of your research activity. And today's theme is based on this only, that how to write good research article, which is considered as the last step in the research work. But before coming to this research article, you have to go through all these activities, which are year-long activities, 3-4 years long activities, or 1 year, minimum 1 year long activity. Like project work also, if you take, it's a 1-year project. Now, up to this point, if you have any question, please unmute yourself and ask me. Any question? Am I properly audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so till now we
Yes,
have,
sir, you're audible.
yes, so till now we have discussed the good hypothesis, good question, and we have ensured that whatever question we said, that is current, and we decided the systems, we decided testing facility, means testing how it can be done, that we have decided, and we have evaluated the results and so on. So almost we are at an end of the research process, and now we will discuss about the research articles. Now one portion is left, that is the literature survey. So I will take 5 minutes to discuss on the literature survey, and then we'll come to the research article part. Now, in your final year project, I think in the audience, maybe there are few of the member from final year or even MTech student. Generally, what we do this literature survey, but it is poorly done. So what will happen because of this poor literature survey? You can see, this is the just example I have taken, that we have done some literature survey, and from that we have got the information about some like gas stove. Then from few set of the research papers, we have got some food atom like dosa. Then few like that. So you'll get different atoms, food atoms. So this kind of literature survey is done. Because of this, what will happen? You will have blur image of your problem statement, because it is unable to find out that you are talking about what. Domain is correct. Domain is properly selected, because all are related to the atoms, which are related to food atoms, you can call. But out of these, what exactly you want to achieve, that is not clear. So you have to do proper literature survey in such a way that you should find the research gap. This word is very important. Research gap. Research gap means the most of the people, other researcher, whatever work they have done, in that, this is, you can say, the work done by other people. You have to find out some gap here in between these n number of work done by the other people. So that gap we have to find out, and it's not so easy job to find the gap. So I'll tell you that how to find out the gap. But for that, definitely you need experience, you need detailed study, and you have to continuously refer the research papers, because literature survey is not a process which is done only at the beginning. At every stage of your research, every day you can consider, you have to continuously refer the work done by other people. It's a continuous process. So I'll show you the another slide where you will find that how literature survey should be done. These slides are copyrighted. I already have file copyright of this. Okay, so that is all about the literature survey, how to do the literature survey. Now you can see here, if you do it the systematic literature survey, then you will get the idea, clear picture. Like from reference number 1 to 3, you will get the idea about the curry, you will get the idea about salad, you will get idea about some rice and chapati and so on. So if I show you this picture, from this picture, it is clear that we are talking about lunch plate or the dinner plate. The picture is clear. Now, as far as this picture is concerned, can anybody tell me that whether it is a dinner plate or the lunch plate or what, for what you are talking about? So this is the typical research survey done by us, which is of no use. It's a time wasting. So we should align our research survey in such a way that we should link the different surveys to one object, one target, in such a way that picture would be clear to us. Now, once you get this picture, now we have to find the research gap. Now, what is the research gap in this case? You have refer more than 25 papers, suppose, as per this picture is concerned. If we refer 25 papers, more than 25 papers, you are getting all these food items. But one thing is missing here, and that is the rasgulla is missing. Sweet item is missing. So now this is the research gap, and you should work on this now rasgulla. And you can propose a statement that development of rasgulla recipe to enhance the taste of lunch plate or the dinner plate. So you are enhancing, that will be the outcome of your research. What is the research gap? Research gap is rasgulla. So you have to find out that rasgulla. So you should have this vision, and for that you have to practice it, you have to put more efforts, you have to do continuous literature survey, then only you will come to this rasgulla point. So please remember, whenever you start working on some research topic, you have to find out the rasgulla. Remember this terminology of rasgulla. Now, how to reach to the rasgulla point? So for reaching to rasgulla point, which is missing in the current system, and that is the research gap which we have decided. So you have to find out the few research papers which will be distantly related to your work, may not be very close. So at the first level, you do study of those papers, find out how it is related to your work. Then narrow down that. Then try to bring it closer and closer. So at second level, it will be more closer. Then third level, again closer. And then finally, you will reach to the rasgulla point. So you have traced that rasgulla is missing. So for reaching to that point, you have to do different levels of literature survey. You have to refine your survey more and more. Just like the first picture I have shown, that you have to filter out the sand, then only you will reach to the target of gold particles, gold granules. And that is the point where you can find here. This is the rasgulla point. So your literature survey is very, very important for your research work. Otherwise, your research work will be of no use. Now, question is why to publish an article? What is it useful for you as a student? So, these are the reasons that why should we publish an article. What is the first important reason is this is the efficient way to disseminate your research. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So now, as already we discussed, for reaching to this Rasgulla point, we have to do refinement in the literature survey. You have to do it continuously refinement, and you have to relate, distantly related, closely related, that you have to find out, and finally you reach to the Rasgulla point, and that is nothing but your target. Now, is it properly visible? Slide number 16.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the title is why to publish an article. What is the benefit out of this activity as a student? So you'll find that this publishing article itself is an efficient means of disseminating the knowledge which you have gained, the research which you have conducted. Then, as far as the academic life is concerned, it is easier to find the employment, because as you say that you are having a good publication or you are having the good copyright or good patent, you can say, then definitely you will be treated as a different from other students, because all will not be involved in this activity, all will not be having research articles, good research article. So this is the key factor to identify yourself as a unique identity. Also, if you see and if you ask your seniors that if you want to get admission in MS, the foreign universities, they ask about that whether you are having good research article or not, whether you are having copyright, whether you are having patent or not. So this is very, very important for your higher studies. Even for the PhD, it is very, very essential. Those who are having good publication, they are selected with less efforts, short interview and all, because saying that you are having good publication itself is a measure of quality. So you need not to prove that you are having the knowledge, so that you can say the benchmarking. Having publication to your credit is a benchmarking for you, for your future. As a researcher, if you want to continue, for winning the research grants, government research grants, they will see your profile and mainly they will see your research articles. Then only research grants are awarded, otherwise not. So you should have good publication record for that. And nowadays, because of this online journal publication, that there is a widespread of the journal publication and it covers the complete geographical area. Because of that, you will have very good research reputation. As far as you can see the ranking also, our college ranking, if we talk, NRF ranking, one of the important parameter of the college ranking is research activities. How many research publications college is having? What kind of journal it is? What is the impact factor? Such questions are asked. So the institution reputation is also decided by the research activities. So it is really beneficial for you. So we should think of carrying out such research activities. Now this is the first slide which I am telling you about the research article. Up to this we discussed the few basic fundamentals of the research. Now we will talk about the research articles. Now what are the different types of research articles? So generally we target this research paper, this one. We target most of the time letters, and we write the review articles. So as a student, as a beginner, you should target this research paper category or letter category. Better not to go in review articles. because review articles in good journals generally not accepted as a beginner, because you should have experience to evaluate the results of other people, because you have to criticize on that. So for that purpose, you should have good background of the research article. You should have enough experience of the research, then only it is possible. So better not to go for this category, research paper category, and later category you can proceed. Now what is the difference between these two? If you are written say 20 pages paper, then you must go for the research paper. And suppose if you have written 4 to 6 pages on your research work, then you should go for the latest category. Okay, so brief, you can say the brief manuscript, short manuscript is considered as a letter, and the page limit is 4 to 6. And if you are having very long paper, there is no limit for the research paper. I am talking about the good publisher, not the local one or the paid one. For the paid one, they are having the limitation of only 5 to 6 pages. For conference paper also, they are having the limitation of 5 to 6 pages, because they are charged per page. But as far as the good publishers are concerned, good publishers are IEEE, Elsewhere, Springer, and so many others. I have that list of reputed publisher in one of the slide. I'll show you that. So you can write long paper, you can write short paper, whatever it is, and they will never charge. It's a free of cost. So from this slide, you should decide, you should target that you should go for letters or you should go for the research paper. It is totally depending upon the number of pages. Now, publishing a research article, it's not so easy job. This picture reveals the many things. This actually the cartoon picture doesn't mean that they are there to reject your paper, not like that. This cartoon picture reveals that there are multiple quality checkpoints, because publishing in good research article in publisher, that good publisher or good journal like IEEE or the Elsewhere or the Springer, they are having very strict quality checkpoints. And once you are through these all the checkpoints, then your paper is accepted. So you have to write your research article, you have to frame your hypothesis in such a way that it should pass all the tests, because we are having the multiple tests. This person you can treat as an editor. Editor will check the quality of your article. And if it is not up to the mark, next day it will be simply written without reviewing. As an editor, what they will see in your article, they will see the title of your article. They don't have time to read your complete manuscript, complete paper. So they will see only 2-3 important things. One is title, whether it is novel or not, whether it is new or not, whether your hypothesis is handling the current problem or not. Then editor will check, editor will read your abstract. Can anybody tell me what is the typical length of the abstract in terms of lines, number of lines?
So 5 lines.
5 lines, okay. Yes, 5 to 6 lines, maximum 10 lines, not more than that. So editor will go through the 10 lines or the 5 lines which you have written. So abstract should be properly written, and everything should be reflected in the abstract. Whatever you have written in 20 pages, that should be reflected in abstract. You should not leave the important points, because they will read your abstract. After that, reviewer, this editor will check your experimental section of the research paper. Experimental section means how you have conducted experiment. They will not read each and everything. They will see whether really you have performed experiments or not. So experimental section, but editor will read each and every line and word of your conclusion. Conclusion is very important. So as far as the editor is concerned, the first important point is title of your paper, abstract your paper, and the conclusion of your paper, and the editor will read each and everything about that, each word, and just having the overview of experimental section. And on this basis, the decision is taken whether it should be forwarded to reviewers for the further review or it should be rejected. That is decided by this person, first person, the editor. So from this slide, you remember while writing the paper, you must focus on title, abstract of the paper, and conclusion section of your paper. Definitely experimental section also important, but you should write carefully all these three important things. Because if you are having some grammatical mistake or few things, definitely good suggestions are given by the reviewers. Reviewers are not to reject your article. Reviewers are there to improve your articles so that it will be more useful for the research fraternity. That is the aim of the reviewers. So many times we revise 2 times, 3 times, once. They pose some questions, we have to answer those, we have to add some additional information in the manuscript so that it would be really useful, and they make your manuscript, your article competent and more rich, technically rich. That is what the main aim. Now, factors to be considered while writing the paper. The first important factor, and this is seen from the editor's point of view. The first is originality of the idea. This is very important. This is very, very important factor, that whether your article is novel and based on your own idea or not. This is the first checkpoint. If suppose your idea is very novel, your idea is very, very good, but whether it is really having the significance, whether it will be having impact, that is also checked. Sometimes what happens, you are having very novel idea, but there is no purpose, there is no significance, then it is straightway rejected. Second important point, as just now we have seen, that research gap. So have you considered, have you filled up that research gap or not? And the next and the most important point is quality of the writing. Even though if you do very good research paper, research work, but you are unable to present it, unable to write it properly, then your paper is rejected. So presenting your work in a proper way, that is also equally important. Okay, so 3 important factors you have to keep in mind. Originality, that is novelty, significance of that topic, and the quality of the writing. Now, as far as the anatomy of the research article is concerned, what are the different sections of the good research article? So it will start with, of course, the title, which is not listed here. The very first you will be having title. Title of most important point, which we discussed already, the title. Title is very important. In addition to title, you have to write the abstract, which is the summary of your article. Means in 5 to 10 lines, you have to write the each and every important work which you have done. Then next section will be regarding the introduction. Introduction about the purpose of your research, your hypothesis, and the background information for your research. Because your hypothesis may be based on someone else's research work. So for that, what is the background for that hypothesis, for that question? You have to mention all these things in the introduction part. Then the next section is materials and methods. Or you can say, as far as the electronics is concerned, you can say the methods only. And in methods, you can cover your simulation part, you can cover system related part, you can cover different, you can say the approaches which you have used. All these things you have to discuss here. And here you have to set the testing parameters. You have to explain the setup used for testing. All the things you have to discuss under the category of these methods. You can divide this in multiple sections also, 2 or 3 sections. I will show you a sample example also, so that you will get the idea that how we can write the methods. So under this category of methods, you can write multiple things. The next important thing is results. Results is very, very important. So results and result discussion also, this is very important. Few people write combinedly results and discussion, or few people write results separately and discussion separately. So as far my advice is concerned, better you club results and discussion, so that once you put some plot, some graph there or some table or figure, better you explain there itself. So that is generally the easier way to do it. Otherwise, results means you will be putting results means graph, tables and all the things, and you will not be having enough discussion over there. And many times we find the query related to the poor discussion or lesser discussion. So to mitigate that problem, better you club results and discussion as a one section. And this is the first one, this is second one, third, this is fourth one. Fifth important part is the conclusion, which is not listed here. Conclusion is very, very important. Conclusion. Actually, this conclusion is also as short as the abstract of your paper. And in addition to this, you have to write the acknowledgement. Some grant, if it is received, that you can acknowledgement, or you have used some research facility, research lab, you should acknowledge those people. Or the people, those who have helped you directly, indirectly, you must acknowledge their efforts. References, of course, that is very, very important. And the supporting information means nowadays, most of the publisher, they are having this provision of providing supporting information. Supporting information means, suppose you are having some data in table and you have plotted some graph. So that graph already you are included in results and discussion section. But the table you cannot include because there's a big program, then the big data. 100 or 200 readings are there, but that kind of information you can support, you can provide under the category of supporting information. You can do it. Or if you are having some video of the your output, okay, you have done some experiment and you have recorded the video, so that video you can record and you can submit under this category. Anyhow, so this is nothing but the optional part, not necessary every time, but abstract title, abstract, introduction, methods, results and discussion, conclusion, acknowledgement, again it is optional. Many times we do not acknowledge because if we are not taken any help, need not to acknowledge, but reference, again it is very important. So these are the important sections of the research articles. And in each section you have to ask these questions to yourself and accordingly you plan it. One important thing in addition to this